shall come to S24. If any business you discontinue, that is called discontinuing operation. And that discontinuing operation profit, one line you are presenting. Not you are presenting how much sale, how much expenses. You are calculating one line calculation profit and single amount of profit you are presenting for the discontinuing operation. And then you are deducting tax of that discontinuing operation and calculating net of tax profit. Then you are adding the old profit after tax and this discontinuing operation profit after tax. So then 11 and 14 you are adding to make the profit and loss. This means now it's a classified profit and loss account by which discontinuing operation should be segregated, exceptional items should be segregated, extraordinary items should be segregated. On the other hand, prior period items should not be shown on the face of the profit and loss account, it should be shown in the notes. Earlier prior period items we are showing on the face of the profit and loss, now prior period you push through in the notes. This is the new format we made. Prior period earlier we are showing on the face, now you push to note. Sorry?
Along with other appropriation items.
No, not appropriation item. Prior period you show among the other expense items. Prior period items are income or expense, no? How it will go to appropriation? No. Prior period items will be either expense or they will be income. So you must add to somewhere or deduct somewhere now. That will be coming to the expense item. Let us see Schedule 6 format you see. You see the Schedule 6 format. Go to the Schedule 6 format. You see the format what they said. How presentation they demanded you see. Part 2 you go. This is the part 2. But they are asking for expenditure. Somehow they must have asked, not probably check the list. In the details they must have been somehow asked for priority. Yeah. In I they asked for prior period presentation. That they are asking that additional information. They said company shall disclose by way of a note additional information regarding aggregate expenditure and income on the following items. They are asking disclosure of prior period items. They are not asking it should be presented on the profit and loss. Interest income, interest expense, dividend, net gain or loss on investment, foreign currency loss or gain, payment to auditors, exceptional and extraordinary item, its detailed prior period items, those details you present as a separate item. But otherwise you aggregate that. Here when you are making a presentation of the profit and loss figure, that time you are showing other expenses. In other expenses it includes prior period items. Then when you are giving disclosure, you give disclosure because they have not said. But if prior period items are so significant, if separate disclosure is required on the face of the profit and loss account, then you are allowed to change the line item and disclose here. Because they are very significant, very gross mistake taken place in the prior period. If I do not show prominently in the profit and loss account is not representing true and fair view, then you disclose here. You change the line item, other expenses, below that you can write prior period and then you can make it. If it is so significant. Then any item which is so significant, you disclose. And also one more feature is that any item which is more than 1% of the revenue or 1 lakh rupees, 1% of the revenue or 1 lakh rupees, whichever is higher, earlier it was 10,000, now it is 1 lakh. Any expense item which is more than 1 lakh or 1% of revenue, whichever is higher, that you have to disclose separately. If it follows a separate line item. So if you find that one item is special on which I created more than 1 lakh expenditure, that is to be shown in the disclosure.
income tax of earlier.
That I am making as expense now this year. This year we have to create extra provision and we are making a charge.
So I'm talking about income tax.
Last year income tax, if it is a additional income tax requirement comes, that we do not show prior paid items. Why we do not show prior paid items? It is change in estimate.
Some appeal matter
Project
we
what we are doing.
If the income tax provision arises out of prior paid items, that's a different. But if income tax provision is falling short because of the error of estimation, that is not prior paid items. There are two different situations. He is taking, suppose I have a wages and salaries mistake, calculation mistake in wages and salaries. From their income tax is arising, that I am treating within prior paid. But if it is arising out of the estimation error of the provision of the tax, that is not prior paid item. Any estimation error is not prior paid items. That's why when there is an additional income tax claim comes, you cannot tell it is an error. I have submitted a return claiming some exemptions. Income tax authority has not granted the exemption and he levied more tax upon me. That is not error. So that is not prior paid items. So current year I shall create the additional provision.
as a separate line item.
Sorry?
As a separate line item.
Because I am already creating provision. When I am creating tax provision, I shall say tax provision for current year, tax provision for earlier years.
It is mentioned that current tax. No, that's why.
The current tax, below I have to create the tax provision, earlier years.
But earlier years we never merged with current tax.
No, you write below current tax.
Yeah.
Tax provision for earlier years. That's not telling you. Create tax provision for earlier years.
That is the existing practice.
That is the existing.
What is the new?
Here he says the new third line item is not there. He said now line item is missing.
Correct.
What should I do? That is his question.
We should add,
You should add.
modify.
You have to modify. With income tax provision I have to create.
Correct.
Because it is current tax, the current year tax. Some people will be saying earlier year if there is a short of provision that is also current tax. Some people will be arguing. If last year is short of tax, that is also current year tax.
That will be highly debatable.
Highly debatable, that's why you can create a separate item. Actually, last year taxation is this. Now you come to a very debatable item of exceptional and extraordinary. What is the meaning of exceptional and extraordinary items? That you come. Therefore, in a year in which you have a discontinuing operation as per AS 24, which I shall discuss